What's good, bumpers? I'm Lana Celeste from Midnight Media. For this week's What's Good Wednesday, our topic of top 10 is Goosebumps from the original series. So let's get creepy with it.
Creepy crawlers. Creepy crawlers. Squeeze the color.
Number 1 is book number 1 of the OG Goosebumps books, Welcome to Dead House. What started it all, released in 1992 by Scholastic. This was such a refreshing change in youth books. These books treated youth like real human beings, talking about scary and complicated situations, and showing that parents are not always right. They mess up, they can be careless, and that they are not always the answer, and you cannot always trust them. Something no other books had really ever done. With this creeped out, spooky style and fun, edgy, descriptive writing, it really soaked up the 80s and the 90s generations. I'm one of them. Dead House was referenced in the Goosebumps, the game that I played on Switch, but is on pretty much every platform now. Honestly, I give this book an 8.5 out of 10. Next up, book 2 from our OG series, Night of the Living Dummy, released in 1992. And honestly, with my favorite character, with his one-liners and his attitude, Slappy, of course. And man, he slaps. He became the mascot for Goosebumps. And in the newer Goosebumps, Slappy has his own series. And he's also in 2 live-action Goosebumps movies, where Jack Black plays his voice of Slappy, and in the live-action, R.L. Stine himself is played by Jack Black. So that's kind of cool. This book for me is so nostalgic. And again, Slappy. So I rate this 8.9 out of 10. Number 3, and book 3 in the series, Monster Blood. Released in 1992, this book has had so much packed into it. Giant dogs, bullies, eccentric ants, green slime, disappearing stories, sorcery, secrets, questionable cookies, evil bathtubs that will eat you, and possessed cats, of course. This book is a melting pot of crazy. It has got it all, and I rate this book 10. Number 4, working our way down the line with book 4, Say Cheese and Die. This book was super interesting because the concept of this was really scary. A camera that takes someone's picture, prints it out, and it's a person in the future having an accident in various severities and worse. The guy that they steal the camera from is described so well, you picture it basically the exact same version portrayed in the Goosebumps TV series, who, fun fact, stars a very young Ryan Gosling, that another cool fact I went to school with as a child. I like this fact, and I like this book. This book is not left on a positive note that a lot of Goosebumps weren't. It creeps you out and second guesses yourself, and, the camera is definitely a creepy vibe. So for that, I give this rating 9.8 out of 10. Say cheese and die. Number 5 with book 11, The Haunted Mask, from our OG series, released in 1993. This book was terrifying, with spooky costume store, spooky guy, the spooky mask. The character Carly Beth was so convincing with her, fight with the mask and the thrall and the personality transformation as she goes through what she goes through while she's wearing the mask. And the lines blurred with who's Carly Beth and who's the mask and which one is which. This book really put you in her shoes and freaks you out. And, kind of has that whole, you gotta face yourself. And your face becomes the mask, and the mask becomes your feelings. and some of those evil feelings that come through the mask. And it envelops you and you lose yourself to it. So this book was kind of like deep and intense. For me, this was another 10 out of 10. Number 6 is book 14 of the OG series, The Werewolf of Fever Swamp, released in 1993. This book's ability to keep you guessing what is really going on was pretty cool. I love the eerie, spooky descriptives that it builds our mind's lens. Is Grady's dog a regular dog? Or is his dog something else transformed by the moon? This book was really fun, and the episode was awesome as well. I give this book 7.5 out of 10. Rolling on is 7 with book 16 from OG series, One Day at Horrorland. It came out in 1994. This book takes you on like a crazy adventure with the Morris family as they get lost trying to go to the zoo and end up in Horrorland, filled with like monsters. The kids realize that things are not right, like right away, while the parents are convinced that the monsters are costumes. The kids realize that they are straight up monsters. The family is put to the test, and like each one of them kind of going through their own individual version of like a hellish experience, terrifying them in coffins and with spiders and all sorts of like dastardly ways that their fears are working against them. It was a pretty nail-biting book for the time. I really enjoyed this adventure. And man, those parents were so dumb. But my rating is 7.6 out of 10. Number 8. The Scarecrow Walks at Midnight, book 20 from the OG series. This was released in 1993. The book follows two kids visiting their grandparents, and when they quickly realize something is very off, they try and kind of like suss it out. It's fun and lighthearted usually at their grandparents' house, but the kids know that something is up when things feel stricter, and their grandparents are like being forced by their choices by a farmhand that they have had working there as long as the kids could remember. Things just seem off. Well, this is not like a cursed off, but in some way it is, as this all has to do with a magic book, a possessed scarecrow, shady secrets, and delicious pies.
Bring me some pie!
A perfect book for the spooky and fall vibes. I rate this 7 out of 10. Number 9, almost at the end of our books, with book 24, The Phantom of the Auditorium. It was released in 1994, and this book was popular in the same era that Phantom of the Opera was running powerfully on Canada's own Broadway, and around the world, really. Zeke was a prankster, so he gets blamed for a lot of strange happenings, but it's not Zeke. Who is it then? Eek! The play unfolds and the stakes are raised. You have no idea what's like going on or who is messing with the play, but the play must go on even if it's haunted. I thought it was really fun and loved how it was mirroring the Phantom of the Opera, as this is one of my favorite plays of all time. I rate this book 8.2 out of 10. Last up, book 49 that was released in 1994, Vampire Breath. When Freddy and Kara are left to their own devices, they explore the basement of the new house and find more than they anticipated. They find creepy caskets, a strange bottle labeled Vampire Breath, and when they release it, it wakes up, well, who would have thunk? It wakes up a vampire. And they have to run and hide to survive until morning light. And man, does this book have a twist. The end was so different than most I would have ever guessed, and leaves you with a smile on your face for sure. I rate this book 7.7 out of 10. Well, before I become invisible, thank you for joining me. Now that we all have the goosebumps, give this vamp a like and subscribe. Hit the bell for my next video drop, and tell me in the comments, what was your favorite Goosebumps book? Until our next scare, keep slapping.